All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to Rutgers. This is Mike with Common Guy Sports. We just had a test start on the scoreboard, top left. Those names need to be updated on the top right. This is the Sunday prelim session. We're starting with event 137. I have a assistant here. He's going to read off our menu of events, and then we'll be ready to jump in, literally.
All right. Well, good morning again. Thank you for tuning in and watching the live stream. Again, this is Sunday's prelim. Welcome to the 2024 NJS and Scarlet Gold Championships. Event 137 is the women's 13 and over 200-yard free. Event 138 is men's 13 and over 200-yard free. Event 139, women's 13 and over 100-yard back. Event 140, men's 13 and over 100-yard back. Event 143, women's 13 and over 50-yard free. And event 144 is the men's 13 and over 50-yard free.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, I don't know if you saw it on that intro screen. I put a little picture up with the sunrise coming over. So for the people that couldn't make it here, I want to make you feel like you had the drive in also, that my little spoof on the Sopranos type intro driving into the campus of Rutgers. If anybody's not been here before, real quick, we'll do you a high-level overview. So the pool, we're swimming the right-hand side, or known as the scoreboard side. We're swimming 25 yards. So all starts are then occur on this right-hand side, and then we have the bulkhead in place. The pool can also be set up for 50 meters. Left-hand side is either called the dive tank or the deep end. Something came up. I rewatched part of it last night. You'll see some of the kids will look back. So this scoreboard, they can see off the blocks. There's no names, and it's kind of laid out a little differently than top to bottom. It's 1 to 4, 5 to 8. So if you see some swimmers looking back, that's what they're looking at. And then something else we saw last night. So as a swimmer finishes here into the wall, they have to look through the blocks and then whatever other people are on deck to see the scoreboard, which is up here. All right, so a little logistics. Looks like we're going to be getting started shortly. Top right of your screen are the names for the first heat of the first event. All right, again, we're starting event 137. We have 10 heats. Steve, I don't know if you, now I said your name again. You lost your
No problem.
anonymous. No. Kind of interesting. The final two events today are the 50 frees. On the women's side, we have 138 entries pre-scratch. Men's side, 155. So if somebody wants to do quick math, we're swimming an 8-lane pool. We're here for a little bit.
That's a nice number of kids swimming that.
Right. So I wanted to clean up those dashes.
And I don't know if you viewers can see at the far end where the timers table, it doesn't look like there's going to be an announcer on a mic, or at least not yet. So to help everything out, I will be announcing the heat and the lanes and the swimmers' names.
There is the empty chair.
Empty chair.
And the DJ's, well, I don't know that
No-
plastic
no-
cover.
no
I don't know
DJ,
if
no
that's
DJ.
from the printer or from. So over there is a printer, and the Colorado console is right there. If everybody's familiar. Old system 5.
Yeah, that probably looks like the newer system. The last time I plugged into that, it was still gray or silverish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new one's a 7, which is streamlined. So. All right. So let's jump back to we'll take a quick look. We have a second here. So we're swimming. We'll start off with this view. Top of the pool is lane 1. Bottom of the pool is lane 8. Here's our swimmers. So we have 4 entries here. Lane 3 will be the red suit. So if somebody could, real quick, if you're watching, if you could give us a quick like, or the comments are open. We had some fun yesterday, Steve, in
Yes.
that comment section. So for the parents that can't be here, or some that choose not to be here,
Exactly.
feel free, put a comment in there. Give a shout out to a particular swimmer. So I know of 3 records that have been broken. Lakeland Hills LHY relays have broken 2 records, and then Sarah Rodriguez. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correct. If I'm not, somebody please help me on the pronunciation. From Jersey Aquatics, last night went 152 in the 200 back, breaking her own record. So she now she broke her own record for the 15 and over, but she also still owns the record for the 13, 14-year-olds. All right, so we got a couple of likes, Steve, so hopefully everything looks and sounds good. I need one other thing.
Yesterday we had I guess you could say a guest that was watching. I think with the screen name of Mr. Joey Brains.
Correct.
All right, so, again, I like to give a shout out. That's actually, Mr. Joey is Joe, and his daughter in the age group 12 won High Point.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So here we go. Event 137 of the women's 13 and over 200 free, heat 1. In lane 3, Ariana Braco Prieto. In lane 4, Grace Flamia. In lane 5, Sam Geary. Lane 6, Allison Fay.
All right, and if anybody's new to the stream here, on the top right of your screen will be the names for the next heat. Right, it's labeled next race. In this case, it is the next heat. We'll move on to heat 2 of 10 up next. But potentially that will be the first heat of the next race. So I do that as a little helper. So if you are not looking at Meet Mobile or the website Be Smart, which has the full heat sheets, their website is besmarttinc.com. I try and put that on the screen. And in that information on the top right, it's lane, last name, comma, first name, age. And you'll see some, 14-year-olds swimming in the same heats as 17-year-olds, just for reference. Team affiliation, those are the abbreviations. If anybody has a question on that, Steve here's been studying the list all night, and he can answer any abbreviation. And then that's the seed time last up on that top right. And again, if you have questions just on general, if you're new to swimming or your aunt or uncle that doesn't have that kind of swimming experience, please feel free, post a question. We'll try and answer it. If not, we can, somewhere in this facility there is an answer to any question you can post out there. If not, there is artificial intelligence search engines we can always revert to. And or any comments or feedback, we'd love to get it. Make sure we're doing an okay job.
Sitting up here with you, I've got so accustomed to all these things laid out in front of me with the technical gadgets. I almost said, the lines are open. Dial in. we're taking calls now.
We're not going to that point of giving out cell numbers. Low time there. Lane 6, Allison Fay, 2:03.98. Dropping off our 2:06.59 seed. Nice job, Allison. Way to start the day for us.
Heat 2 of event 137. Lane 1, Isla Molatier. Lane 2, Hope Kennedy. Lane 3, Emily Gallagher. Lane 4, Caitlin Ng. Lane 5, Lucia Ebler. Lane 6, Jessica Sung. Lane 7, Adeline Fang. And then lane 8 is Emmy O'Shane. Lane 1 is probably a scratch. Nobody swimming there.
All right, here we come into the 100 already. Jeez. All right, something else on the scoreboard. You'll see it on the top left. It's cut off a little. I should change that so you can see the full running time in yellow. But just under that yellow text that you see scrolling is the lengths complete. So that's going to be the lengths complete for the lead swimmer. Again, probably not applicable here with 200s. But as you're getting into the higher distance, that becomes a good point of reference. Depending on the stroke, obviously, kids swimming freestyles, split in 30s. That's where you get into simple swimming math. All right, that was the 150 turn. All right, here's the swimmers under the flags coming in to finish.
It will be lane 6, Jessica Sung, with a time of 2:04.19.
Here's our Heat 3 entries. Apologize to the star team. Logo's not working.
Heat 3 of event 137. In lane 2, Thea Valderona. In lane 3, Audrey Barrows. Lane 4, Lily Price. Lane 5, Emily Cott. Lane 6, Stephanie Kim. Lane 7, Jennifer Establo. Lane 8, Michelle Fadib.
All right, here we are at our 100 splits. Lane 2 looks to turn first. All right, low time there. Lane 6, Stephanie Kim, 2:00:33. That's a nice drop, Stephanie. She came in on a 2:03:73. So that's a 3.7 drop. 3.4, sorry.
And we're now starting heat 4 of event 137. In lane 1, Ahana Tibb. In lane 2, Riley Horgan. In lane 3, Lola Summerstein. Lane 4, Ava Adota. Lane 5, Jenna Calabrese. Lane 6, Peyton Phelan. Lane 7, Adeline Kanajaja. And in lane 8 is Heidi Ross.
So, Steve, maybe you can explain the structure here. We have 13 14s, and then next heat we see some 18 19s. How are they qualifying for, and what is the structure of the finals for tonight? It's staying the same with one heat for the 13 14-year-olds, and then there'll be an A and a B for the older 15 and overs.
So doing the announcing for last night's, finals, it'll probably be the same format. 13 and overs will come parading in as final A, and then
13 14s, right?
13 14, right? And then followed by the 15 and overs, which then has the bigger range, and they start out with finals B and then finals A.
So you'll possibly be hearing some announcements after the races are complete of swimmers have 30 minutes to declare. So with this setup, these are preliminaries. Basically, they're trying to attempt to qualify to be invited back for the finals tonight, which are either 6 or 6:30. So it is, this session started an hour later. It is 9:15 here, real time, Sunday morning, St. Patrick's Day. So it's going to be a long day. So we'll see if the swimmers all select to come back, and then we will be live streaming that session this evening. And in between that, we'll have a couple other live streams. We have a distance session, and then we have an age group session. There we go, sub 2.
Touching the wall is Heidi Ross with a time of 1:59.65.
Heidi came in on a 2:02:60. Nice drop. Here's our Heat 5 entries.
Heat 5, event 137. In lane 1 is Grace Barrows. Lane 2, Isabel Meth. Lane 3, Nicole Zaremba. Lane 4, Amanda Semsel. Lane 5, Avery Locke. Lane 6, Ella Weiss. Lane 7, Lainey Sue. Lane 8, Hayden Gill.
I just saw some viewers that were watching gave you a couple of likes, Mike.
Super. Thank you. They gave us likes, Steve. It's
you.
us. All right, and if you are just joining us, this is our first event, event 137. We're up to Heat 5. At any point, you can rewind to go back and catch up should you have missed a swimmer of interest. These seedings are done slowest to fastest, so as we progress along, we'll be seeing lower and lower seed times. This particular Heat 5 of 10 is just on the cusp of 2 minutes. All right, here come the swimmers. So you see length on the top right. That's going to go from 4 to 6. It's only counting on the right-hand side. So that's a 150 split for all the swimmers there. All right, that's then it conclude Heat 5. Entries for Heat 6.
Touching first was Hayden Gill. Missed the time on that, my apologies. Heat 6. In lane 1, Ava Repetti. Lane 2, Hannah Ewing. Lane 3, Sarah Way. Lane 4, Natalie Dapra. Lane 5, Rachel McInerney. Lane 6, Esme Hendrisk. Lane 7, Ava Grace Zettler. And in lane 8 is Angelica Koblars.
All right, again, this is heat 6 of 10. If anybody's concerned, that purple text you see on the top left of the scoreboard, that is just the meet name. So it says SCAR, abbreviation for Scarlet, /NJS, standing for New Jersey Swimming Gold Championship. And then on the top right, that's just the time of day. So I choose not to display that, hopefully cutting off less of the screen. We have the name of the meet down on the bottom right, 2024 Scarlet Championships. NJS/Scarlet. All right, here we are at 150 splits. Looks like lane 5, first to the wall. Rachel at a 159.15, dropping off her 159.86 seed time. Heat 7 swimmers.
In lane 1 is Amina Jones. Lane 2, Marissa Lanzanski. Lane 3, Sabine Ristad. Lane 4, Sierra Celentano. Lane 5, Reese Biggie. Lane 6, Rihanna Krikorian. Lane 7, Ella Callahan. And in lane 8 is Samia Gazaz.
And just to share with the viewers, we don't have a camera on ourselves. Otherwise, it will be like super fun to watch our goofiness. But if there was a camera pointing at all this gear here, it actually looks like Command Central. You know, how many screens do you have, Mike? 1, 2, and 3. Maybe even one sitting there, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras. So lots of wiring all around us, entangled in it's electrical spaghetti.
Never know if we have to land a rocket later or something, so, you know, good to be prepared. All right, I do, to Steve's point, so, all right, here we are at 150. So should it require, I do have a moving camera, so if there is a kind of, this is more for the finals or something that I will utilize this. And on the distance races. If we want to kind of get tight on somebody's stroke. Here's lane 1, our lead swimmer. So, trying to use that accordingly. You know, the objective here is to highlight every swimmer. So we stay on the wider shots. All right, looks like lane 1. Amina Jones, 159.78.
Heat number 8 in lane 1, Carolina Shaw. Lane 2, Margaret Sawa. No swimmer in lane 3. Lane 4, Iris Kim. Lane 5, Julia Sewick. Lane 6, Angela Zhao. Lane 7, Liz Versta. And lane 8 is Sinead Cook.
All right, Steve, one thing we overlooked, us amateurs here we didn't talk about, looks like Heat 8 goes to circle seating. This Heat 7, where are we at? We are at 8, sorry. All right, so we are into circle seating for 8, 9, and 10. It seems like the last 3 heats each time we've been looking at that. So you can see that up on the top right. Those are the entries for heat number 9. And you'll see the disparity, if that's the right word, of the times between lanes 1 and then middle of the pool and 4 and 5. So it seems like last 3 heats for all the events seem to be circle seated.
Yeah, definitely more apparent starting in Heat 8, right? So you have Iris Kim with a entry time of 1:48.83, and then if we move over to Heat 9, you will have someone like Chloe Kim with a entry time of 1:48.70, and that final heat you have Kate Hurst, who has an entry time of 1:47.95.
All right, here we are into the finish. And just for reference, 13-14 record, 147.9, 15 and over, 144.10.
And Iris Kim just hit the wall, touching it at 150.20.
All right, that concludes Heat 8. Here are our Heat 9 swimmers. And on the top left, in 2 seconds, you'll see the Heat 10 names for the final heat up next. 9 in the pool, 10 up next, final heat next.
In lane 1, Sharon Cho. Lane 2, Emma Briganti. Lane 3, Regan Gilligan. Lane 4, Chloe Kim. Lane 5, Kathleen Torano. Lane 6, Masha Natrepko. Lane 7, Isabella Saldivia. Lane 8, Raleigh Budzinski.
So in this case, outside lanes, kind of 1, 2, 7, 8, have 157, 158. That's funny, the post just came in. Go Riley looking for outside smoke. So anybody not familiar here, we got Riley in lane 8. Outside smoke is referencing the fact that faster swimmers are put in lanes 4 and 5. So you kind of get a chevron shape, and you're getting that now as they turn. See that kind of, you can see that from this view. So we're pulling for Riley down here in 8. She's hidden a little bit by the coaches and so on along. All right, that last split on the board was our 100 splits. All right, lead swimmer turning Chloe Kim, 122 flat, split at 28.20. Chloe came in on a 148.70 seed, middle of the pool. Low time, Chloe Kim, lane 4. All right, that concludes heat 9.
Chloe Kim had a 150.22. This is the final heat, heat 10. In lane 1, Jessie Wang. Lane 2,
Oh, shucks.
Carolyn Murray. Lane 3, Danny Karnoff. Lane 4, Kate Hurst. Lane 5, Grace Lee. Lane 6, Charlotte Kowalewski. Lane 7, Isla Johnston. And in lane 8 is Erin Barisonic.
All right, I flashed the wrong names. Let me just flash the names real quick. Sorry, we're going to hide the girls, ladies, as they go under it.
You know, yesterday I tried to
Remember that maybe I pronounced that in lane 8, that last name incorrectly. Maybe it's Barosinic.
But anyways, if you're watching, I do apologize again. I'm not a names person, or I try my best. So my apologies.
Still on the amateur status, so yeah.
You know, yeah, I think even the pros botch
Sure,
some names.
absolutely.
You know, like who's that guy, Rowdy Gaines?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't know all names.
Well, if you want to see something interesting, go find a hockey college lineup sheet, and they actually do pronunciations down the bottom, just because you get a lot of Europeans, a lot of Canadians. So maybe swimming needs to adopt that. And now that we're on the radar here with Kyle, also known as Ryan Sockwell, maybe we should shout out and give him the task of giving pronunciation keys to all swimming. Maybe Meet Manager can pick that up.
Yeah. I mean, my process is I really try to kind of like read ahead and have my brain try to process that last name correctly.
Right. All right, here we come into the wall for the finish.
And it's Kate Hurst with a 148.80.
We're just off her seed time. Again, we'll open this up. We'll open the debate channel on circle seating, positive or negative.
Yeah.
So in that case, Kate's out all by herself there. Does it work to an advantage for some of the outside lanes? Here we go. Heat 1 for the men's, the boys.
So in Heat 1, in Lane 3, you have Matt Jackson. Lane 4 is Ethan Park. Lane 5, Braden Harris. Lane 6, Jaden Zhang. So,
You want to just read the records there just for reference?
some of the records that were set for the 13-14 age group was set back in March 12th of 2017 by Dear Rose, and the time was 139.18. The 15 and over record was set back in April 1st of 2014, Zachary Malloy with a time of 135.66. So I wanted to bring up the thing about Kate Hurst before.
Yep.
She was slightly off her, I guess, personal time. But I think as an 18-year-old, swimming, for quite a long time, I think at this point they're able to gauge better how much to put in the prelims.
Sure.
Whereas the younger kids, maybe 13 and below, the coaches usually say, swim fast. So.
Right. Right. Would you argue that younger kids only know 2 speeds, practice and race?
I think so, because I think at that age where if you try to throw in the, take a little bit off the throttle, come in and off this turn and blah, 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 it just might be a little too much to process.
Well, and and admittedly, and some people probably say, yeah, he was never a competitive swimmer because comments that I make. This is Mike speaking, but there's been comments that Katie Ledecky could tell you what she just split a 50 in, down to the 10th, So, and you brought it up yesterday. If you weren't with us, some of the 500 kids don't swim with counters; they're on their own. So I asked the question back. How do you tell that kid to go faster without having the shake going on? All right.
Hitting that wall first is Ethan Park, 158.31.
All right, here's our Heat 2 swimmers. We have 12 heats here on the men's and boys side. And I'll apologize in advance. I use men and boys and girls and women interchangeable. And this one's challenging, right? We have 13-year-olds and we have 18-year-olds.
In Lane 1 is Daniel Choi. Lane 2, Bradley Mayer. Lane 3, Nathan Shu. Lane 4, Ara Gulati. Lane 5, Justin O'Brien. Lane 6, Max Sabansky. Lane 7, Colin Whitlock. And in Lane 8 is Noah Zomera.
All right, if anybody out there, the chat is open if you want to chime in opinion. We won't hold it against you, but circle seating, pro, con. Well, we had our other debates yesterday, Steve. It was if you weren't with us, I think the debates were if you're a timer, do you take the outside lane or the middle?
Yep.
And if you're not familiar, the outside lane typically are slower swimmers. So they're finishing, and then the official's blowing the whistle, and you're kind of jumping into the next race. In the center, you'll have the faster swimmers, so you have a little more break. But the other factor is the outside lanes, sometimes they're empty, so you're not working every race. And I guess the other one we had was if you are the recorder, the person writing down the time, is it either read it or show it to the other person? And again,
you're right. Some of those challenges, again, that I think we might have brought up is that, you kind of figure, let me get the outer lanes, and it's going to be a more relaxing day, but not when you are the one handed the clipboard, because you are going to make that mad dash to try to write.
Lane 2 looks coming to the wall. 155.35. Bradley Mayer came in on a 158.49. That's a 3-second plus improvement.
Heat 3. In lane 1 is Gabriel Colon. Lane 2, Matt Coster. Lane 3, Kevin Ho. Lane 4, Aiden Liu. Lane 5, Robert Stanley. Lane 6, Jonathan Kern. Lane 7, Kyle Wargo. And in lane 8 is Philip Petrovsky.
All right. Again, on the top right, that orange text, those are the entries for either the next heat or the first heat of the next event. We'll try and keep that updated as we go along.
The time is 9:34. You have 30 minutes to declare your intentions.
Oh, all right. Let's see if we're reconnected. All right, we're back on the air. We had a little glitch there, maybe 5 or 10 seconds. Your YouTube should have reconnected. We're relying on Rutgers infrastructure here. Darn it, Governor Murphy, come on, give us more money.
Experiencing some technical difficulties.
Yeah, we're hardwired in. We got like a gig connection, and any technos out there, we're doing 2-second pings out to the internet, so it's not a speed. Just seems like. And again, to Steve's point, we're a little. Hopefully, our wires are not getting shaken loose. But we should be back on the air. If somebody could give us another like or a comment, let us know everything's back and looking good for you. So low time there, Kevin Ho, 154 flat. Kevin came in at 156.86. Awesome drop.
This is heat 4 of 12 for the men's 13 and over 200 free. In lane 1 is.
I'll let her do it.
No, that's results. Oh.
The time is 9:35. And
All right.
you have 30 minutes to declare your intentions.
All right.
All right. I don't think she's doing the name. So in lane 1 is Jack Camiloni. In lane 2 is Oliver Brown. Lane 3, Lyndon Lee. Lane 4, Stephen Baton. Lane 5, Caleb Pinto. Lane 6, Emmanuel Zanakis. In lane 7, Bilal Afifi. In lane 8 is Christopher Lee.
So I think that announcement was scratches for the free. So as I mentioned earlier, basically the low times are invited back for the finals this evening, and then the swimmers have a choice to opt out if you would. All right, here we are at 150. All right. Thank you for a couple of people. I see now we have 6 likes. Hopefully that represents that we're back. Everything's looking and sounding good.
And we have about 50 users, or actually 48 viewers that are connected.
Tell your friends. Tell your friends. So this stream will be available to rewatch at any point. Low time there, lane 6, Emmanuel 149.61. Coming in on a 155.68. That's a 6-second.
Nice drop.
6.07. Here's our Heat 5 swimmers.
So in Heat 5, in lane 1, you have Kareem El-Zawawi. In lane 2, Matthew Ciliato. Lane 3, Jose Calix. Lane 4, Nicholas DeSopo. A no swimmer in lane 5. Lane 6, Ty Holler. Lane 7, Vahan Chatterjee. And in lane 8, you have Jaden Bui.
All right, Juan Almeida.
Yeah, I know that guy. Hey, Juan, good morning. All right. Juan likes to give a big shout out. Oh, actually to us.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was going to say, he does
That's
have
where,
a swimmer.
Steve, you got to read the whole thing before
Yeah.
you start announcing
Yeah,
it.
my fault. So Juan shouted out. I like to give a big shout out to you guys for doing a great job broadcasting.
Well, I guess the thank you, and I got the call Wednesday, Thursday. The shout out, I guess, should go to New Jersey Swim. I'll admit I am getting paid for this. Steve and chair number 2 here is purely volunteering, so thank you to him. But New Jersey Swim is absorbing the cost. We did not pick up any advertisers, so. If anybody out there really enjoying it, I guess, I don't know what New Jersey Swim's policy is, but, give them a thank you. All right, Heat 5 into the wall, low time, lane 2, Matthew, 151. Matthew came in on a 153.31. Here we go, Heat 6.
So Heat 6 in lane 1, Aaron Roy. Lane 2, Jaden Almeida. Lane 3, Yalong Zhang. Lane 4, Kyle Phillips. Lane 5, Will Portsil. Lane 6, Leo Mazel. Lane 7, Milo Pfeiffer. And in lane 8 is Justin Yu. Going back to what you were saying, Mike, is that I guess you could say you're the camera for hire, and then me volunteering, maybe it just shows that I'm a glutton for punishment, But I do really enjoy volunteering, and this is our final day up here at the press box, and again, I think I mentioned it yesterday. Really enjoyed being up here, having a lot of fun. Hopefully, we're not boring anybody at home, or maybe we'll get a comment here or two. Would you guys please be quiet?
Yeah. Well, they do have a mute, right? So.
Mike, I'm pretty sure you've seen this throughout the years when your kids were swimming, and this seems like everywhere you go, you got the coaches doing the hand waves, waving the paper, doing the crazy swimming. Do you actually think any of these kids can see it or pay attention to it?
Just full disclosure, my kids one's done with college, one's in college and not swimming, so maybe I could be a little more free. I don't know. I would have to say, ask the swimmers. It's almost, I don't know. I guess, the thinking is, that.
Oh, hitting that wall is Kyle Phillips.
148.
148.64.
Came in on a 149.93. No, I think out of the corner eye, you'll see it. You'll hear some coaches whistle, especially on breaststroke. I think I definitely think it's motivation. We had one coach actually counting the 500s for their swimmer.
Yes, I saw
so,
that. Here's Heat 7. In lane 1, Tyler Hopkins. Lane 2, Corey Sue. Lane 3, Bryce Freeman. Lane 4, Jacob Sulemowski. Lane 5, Matt Correos. Lane 6, William Bashore. Lane 7, Matt Millen. And in lane 8 is, last name is Corazon Cordero. And again, apologies for cutting that first name off.
Derek actually is first
Sorry.
name.
Derek.
We see that in our other formatted sheet. I don't know if there is there any ex-swimmers out there. Do you see and hear the coaches? Are they just getting their Fitbit activity in? I don't think so, right?
So as far as I think you know how the swimmers, especially if you're swimming the freestyle and the coaches are waving at you, technically the coaches are higher on the pool deck, right? So
Oh, sorry, wrong camera.
and they were always coached to say, you know, half face, half face. So if you're doing half face, I don't think your vision
Right.
would actually allow you to see your coaches. So if you do see your coaches, that probably means your head's coming up way too high, right?
Yeah, that's probably a meme out there, right? It's like, you shouldn't have seen me. I'm cheering you on, but you shouldn't have seen me. And we actually had a couple close-ups yesterday on the 500s, and you saw some of the older boys. They're not even doing half face. They're doing, quarter, and their mouth is just breathing in that little gap that it creates.
Yeah, they learned to turn that mouth into a small.
Lane 2, 147.9. Corey Sue dropping off a 149.68. Here we go, heat 8.
They're in the pool. In lane 1, Zachary Katong. Lane 2, Greg Clark. Lane 3, Kyle Lee. Lane 4, Reed Stellatella. Lane 5, Koji Sawa. Lane 6, Mason Keith. Lane 7, Uriel Lee. And then lane 8 is Owen Keeterling.
All right, as Steve said, this is heat 8. We have 12 heats, so we're expecting the circle seating to kick in after 9. So 10, 11, and 12 are circle seated. So 8 in the pool, names and times up on the top right for 9. So you'll see that they range from 147.5 in the middle to 148.51 on the outside. Whereas then heat 10, center lane is down to like a 139. And when we say center lane, that's lane 4, because lane 4 is given the low time, and then it goes 5, 3, 6, 2, 7, 1, 8. Sorry, one ahead. All right, here we are at 150 splits.
And as a non-swimmer, I'm not trying to make things up, but with that circle seating, you're putting in that one faster.
A little louder. You're a little closer.
Oh,
Putting in that one faster kid almost seems like a pace car in a race, right? But, technically all the other swimmers are not allowed to look over. But, I'm just imagining things.
Right. Well, this is not a circle seated. This is low 146.55 for Reed. Stella Attila.
Stellatella?
Thank you. Came in on a 148.57.
Heat 9 in lane 1, Cole DiPietro. Lane 2, Thomas Goggin. Lane 3, Josh DeMarco. Lane 4, Max Chechanowski. Lane 5, David Zoltek. Lane 6, Michael Zanko. Lane 7, Michael Wizenko. And in lane 8 is Angel
Lainez. Sorry.
All right, here's our 100 splits.
We don't have any 200 distance or more today for this morning, right? So I was gonna ask Mike to maybe, share his story, because a lot of times when people do live stream, we like to find out a background, like how do you come to be, I did live streaming a couple of years back. That was because of COVID and nobody, people weren't coming back yet. And so that's how I got involved.
All right. Yeah, is that a question?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So after they touch
All right,
the
yeah,
ball,
we'll finish this and we'll
let
talk.
us know, Mike.
All right, thank you, Steve. Low time there, lane 2, Thomas. 148.09. Dropping off is 148.09, so about almost 0.9 improvement there for Thomas. Here we go, heat 10.
In lane 1, Richard Fadiv. Lane 2, Anson Chen. Lane 3, Gregory Lin. Lane 4, Frankie Prekop. Lane 5, Brandon Anand. Lane 6, Troy Mayer. Lane 7, Alex Buftia Jimenez. And in lane 8, you have Maximilian McHeads.
All right, so you asked, Steve. So full disclosure, my daughter swam for Chatham High School, and years ago they were doing well in the States. One meet was at Raritan Bay, and I don't know, we got like a 3 o'clock start time or something, and everybody's like, oh, we can't make it. So I brought one camera and a computer and did it from the stands and came down to the last 400 free relay. And if there's any Scotch Plains parents out there, sorry, but Chatham out-touched them. And I think it was tied going in. So if they took first in that free relay, they took the meet. And then they moved on and they went down to GCIT. So if you're not from the area, it's like a 2-hour drive. New Jersey's not very big, but when you go north to south, it's long. So I packed that up and went again, and I was hooked at that point. And
Nice.
so
Yeah, you say that New Jersey is not too big, but I bet you all swim parents or parents related, doing sports, all types of sports,
sure.
you're like waking up early in the morning, and you're like, again, I gotta drive.
Yeah, well. If there is multi-sport parents out there, then they could probably relate. My daughters also played lacrosse. We used to drive to Maryland for tournaments and play New Jersey teams. So that's when you question yourself.
And touching first is Frankie Prekop of Scarlet Aquatics with a time of 1:41.71.
Scarlet across the board here, Steve. What do you think? Scarlet's going to take the win.
Some Scarlet will. So final, is not yet. Second to last, right?
Yep.
So in lane 1 is Anton Kondratyev. Lane 2, Caden Cho. Lane 3, Vincent Kim. Lane 4, Timothy Lee. Lane 5, Adam Kiss. Lane 6, Eric Yu. Lane 7, Simon Stryzak. And in lane 8, you have Jeremiah Tomiaka.
All right, and this is where I go into homer mode. Simon Stryzak of the Chatham High School boys team who won the states this year. Both boys and girls took the titles. Top right are the entries for the final heat, heat of 12 up next.
And this being the final day, Mike, are you tired? Did you get enough sleep?
Enough. Sure. You got to give a shout out to the swimmers. So most days, I guess, Friday didn't start this early, right?
No, but some of them started again that 1650
On
started
Thursday.
on that Thursday.
Right.
I'm sure the kids are exhausted. And again, going back to that question, how much distance do you think these kids have swam, including,
Right.
warm-ups, warm-downs?
Timothy Lee, lane 4, low time, 1:40.10. It's right about his seed. So got to look at the outside lanes here, 147, 140. Everybody pretty much on seeds there. Here we go, final heat.
Final heat it is. In lane 1, Nathaniel Kern. Lane 2, Matthew Piacentini. In lane 3, Jacob Kim. Lane 4, Sedaten. Lane 5, Burak Iloglu. In lane 6, Sam Lorenk. Lane 7, Aiden Nugent. And in lane 8, Dave Slowinski.
All right. Are the kids on spring break this week or no? That was just colleges are on spring break.
Probably the colleges. I know my kids' spring break starts the following week, not this coming week. And then other schools are the week after that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking about the week of the March, I think, March 25th.
Right. So along with a long weekend of swimming, we had school workload to take care of too. All right, again, this is Heat 12. Here they are turning at 100. On deck, those names you see on the top right, event 139 is next. 100-yard backstroke. 14 heats for the ladies and girls.
And for all the swimmers that are going to zones and sectionals coming up, best of luck to all the swimmers. Swim fast.
Yeah, we are not swimming outside, but if you're not from the area, we had 70-degree weather Friday and stuff, so, hopefully all the kids stayed healthy during that. Here we are into the wall for the finish. Lane 3, Jacob Kim, low time, 140.57. Came in on a 143.66. Nice swim, Jacob. 147, 148.
We're ready to start the women's 13 and over, 100 back. This is event 139. Three swimmers in the pool already getting ready for this event. In lane 3, Sarah Jo Draper. Lane 4, Amelia Murphy. And in lane 5, you have Adeline Thang.
So if anybody recently joining us, all the heat sheets are available off the website for Be Smart Timing. Their website is besmarttinc.com or also in Meet Mobile.
And for this event, for the 100-yard backstroke for the women's 13 and over, the previous record holder set back in November 22nd of 2020 is by Emily C. Thompson with a time of 54.99. And for the 15 and over, that record was set back in March 11th of 2023 by Claire Logan with a time of 52.99. And touching the wall first was Sarah Jo Draper with a time of 103.92.
Dropping off her 106.19 seed.
Event number 138, boys 13, 14, 200-yard freestyle, and men's 15 and over 200 freestyle.
Interesting timing here with the announcement while they're about to start. Up. Here we go. Quick, let's get a camera on that. Up. Is it resolved? Yeah.
Not sure if you can hear that. The officials just told the swimmers to relax.
Right, so one of the swimmers, middle of the pool, so they are using the backstroke wedges hanging down. And you see the official, let's get a camera on that. Right here. So that yellow device, I think the official legal term that we can use is backstroke wedge. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I looked on the Finn's website. That's what they call it. So that yellow bar hangs down. We'll go back here. We'll talk about that when we start. The yellow bar hangs down. It needs to be below the water line, and the swimmers basically can put their feet on that with the toes on the top of it to get a more stable, we'll put the word stable, grip on the wall so they can push off without their feet going down. And we saw some issue yesterday. Basically, swimmers need to drop that in, and then the official needs to take it out because it sits in front of the timing pad. Steve, you want to read names, and then we can...
Well, for Heat 2, swimmers in Lane 1, Ashley Foley. Lane 2, Tierney Keefe. Lane 3, Zoe Telluri. In Lane 4, Alyssa Lowe. In Lane 5, Noelle Rivera Castro. In Lane 6, Emma Esser. And in Lane 7 is Haley Castillo.
Boys 13, 14, and men 15 and over, 200-yard freestyle. This event is now open for scratching. The time is 9:58, and you have 30 minutes to declare your intentions.
All right, so that was the announcement for the swimmers that qualified. They have 30 minutes to declare their intentions if they're coming back tonight. All right, low time there was lane 2, Tierney Keefe, 105.27. It's about a half-second drop for Tierney. Just to complete my thought, so then that backstroke wedge needs to be taken out because it sits in front of the timing pad and potentially obstructs the timer system, recognizing when the swimmer comes in and basically hits the pad.
Heat 3 of 14 in Lane 1, Elizabeth Wolchstack. Lane 2, Sierra Santiago. Lane 3, Noelle Jordan. Lane 4, Moksha Shaw. Lane 5, Ariane Bracco Pietro, or Ariana. Lane 6 is Anaga Mendraker. In Lane 7 is Emmy O'Shane. And in Lane 8, you have Isabella Lee.
Let's try and have a little fun, Steve. So we saw that Juan, you're out there watching, you posted a comment earlier. Hopefully you didn't look. Take a guess how many entries for the girls and boys for our last two events today, which are the 50 frees. We're looking for a pre-scratch, so an entry quantity. And we'll get back to that, finish that off in a second. Low time, lane 2, Kieran Santiago, 103.74. Oh, dropping off a 105.5. Nice drop, Siren.
This is Heat 4 of Event 139. Lane 1, Madeline Minchak. Lane 2, Lucy Ebler. Lane 3, Rebecca Kim. Lane 4, Divya Jahangir. Lane 5, Lola Silver. Lane 6, Mila Cromwell. Lane 7, Sam Geary.
And in lane 8 is Lily Levery.
All right, here they are at the 50 split. Lane 8, there's your outside smoke. 103.71 for
Lily Levery?
Lily.
Yes.
Came in on a 105.43.
We're now at Heat 5. I'll wait till the swimmers go in. In lane 1, Cecilia Flamia. Lane 2, Corel Lee. Lane 3, Lauren Corellis. Lane 4, Amanda Semsel. Lane 5, Alexandra Tan. Lane 6, Hope Kennedy. Lane 7, Harlow Hatch. And in lane 8 is Sophia Howe.
Now we're getting outside smoke in lane 1. Low time there, 102.85. Cecilia up in lane 1. Came in on a 104.72. Almost 2-second drop. Here we go, heat 6.
In lane 1, Camila Bazan. Lane 2, Emma Price. Lane 3, Priya Schultz. Lane 4, Reese Berg. Lane 5, Ella Callahan. Lane 6, Alexa Whitworth. Lane 7, Sonia Jagan. And in lane 8 is Marley McDonald. Sharing with the viewers that are watching, obviously for swim parents, that volunteer and do it a lot, they have a good understanding of the term flyovers. So flyovers, again, is to save time. When the kid comes in, he's underneath the bulkhead, and then you have another swimmer ready at the blocks, jumping into the pool over them. But, obviously for a backstroke, that is not something we could do.
Low time outside McDonald. Marley, 378, dropping 0.7 off her seat. Oh, I didn't update the name. Shucks, give me 10 seconds here. Names will get flashed.
And this will be heat 7 of 14 of event 139. So in lane 1, you have Abby Ford. Lane 2, Sasha Black. Lane 3, Sahana Manikandan. Lane 4, Harper Edie. Lane 5, Zoe Biddleman. Lane 6, Maddie DeFranco. Lane 7, Michelle Zhao. In lane 8, you have Claire Hegedus.
I was over here typing. Were you referring to those as flyovers or overhead starts?
Overhead starts.
All right.
My
There's probably a debate out there.
Yeah.
Well, everything in swimming's a debate, right? I don't know, what is USA Swimming actually officially determined? Is it one's probably the official term and the other's the slang, right? Flyover or overhead. I think flyover and
I
sanction.
don't know. You know what? I'm kind of like a jet person, so maybe that got stuck in my head of being just flying over.
Gotcha.
But wrong term for me.
Lane 1, more 102 flat. Abby Ford came in on a 103.56. Thanks for making the math easy. 1.56 improvement for Abby.
Ready to start heat 8. In the pool is Megan Donovan in lane 1. Lane 2, you have Ava Fields. Lane 3, Sofia Del Silva. Lane 4, Phoebe Garrettson. Lane 5, Emma Wong. Lane 6, Molly Newman. Lane 7, Avery Dollard. And in lane 8, you have Lola Summerstein.
Is anybody wondering where Molly Newman goes to high school? Chatham High.
You got.
I'm a homer, so sorry.
Nice.
All right, this is heat 8 of 14, so we're not kicking into the circle seating yet. As you can see from the top right, very similar times for all the swimmers. All All right, no guesses out there for the number of entries for the final two events for this session. And those are the girls 50 free and then the boys or men's 50 free. I'll give out the answer. I kind of can't wait to share it. 138 on the girls' side, 155 on the boys' side.
Mike, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that these parents actually knew the numbers.
Okay.
But it is a Sunday.
More outside smoke. Lola there had a 103.39. Sorry, Steve, go ahead. Finished in a 102.11. Nice drop, Lola.
Heat number 9 of 14. In lane 1, Kiara Walsh. In lane 2, Marissa Lanzanki. Lane 3, May Alice Hartog. Lane 4, Megan Jakubasek. In lane 5, Lily Price. Lane 6, Alice Chorolova. Lane 7, Neom Murphy. And in lane 8 is Donna Young Kim. Lane 2 is a scratch. So going back to what I was saying is that I'm sure the parents know, but because it's the final day of the meet, I think they're just enjoying their cup of joe, and they don't want to be typing anything or chatting.
All right.
So
You think it's Joe, huh? It's St. Patrick's Day, Steve.
Yeah, right.
Might be Green Joe. All right, here we come into the finish. Lane 1, first under the flags. Kiara Walsh dropping time off her 102.89. EEX, Steve, what is that? That is Eastern Express?
yes. Eastern Express swim team. Heat 10 of 14. In lane 1, Caitlin Williams. Lane 2, Angelica Kobalars. Lane 3, Michelle Fadiv. Lane 4, Maddie Fletcher. Lane 5, Addie Riaz. Lane 6, Haley Rushforth. Lane 7, Kylie Newton. And in lane 8 is Ava Lee.
All right, here we are at our 50 split. Lane 7, Kylie Newton first under the flags. She comes home in 101.06, dropping off her 102.48 seed. And again, Steve and I are trying to capture kind of significant improvements, big accomplishments. If we overlook something, feel free to type it in the chat. Let us know. We'll give a shout out, try and recognize the swimmers.
Heat 11 of 14. Lane 1, Kathleen Toronto.
Coaches, check-in sheet for the distance session are now available in the control room. Again, the distance session check-in sheets are now available in the control room. Thank you.
In lane 2, Brianna Marion. Lane 3, Natalie Dapra. Lane 4, Samia Gazaz. Lane 5, Olivia De Los Royas. In lane 6, Helen Chen. Lane 7, Megan Landers. And in lane 8 is Lila Setcher.
All right, low time there. Lane 6, Helen Chen, 101.09. Helen dropping about 3/4 of a second.
Heat 12 of 14 in lane 1, you have Davina Lowe. Lane 2, Riley Horgan. Lane 3, Sabine Ristad. Lane 4, Rebecca Jung. Lane 5, Erin Borisinek. Lane 6, Lily Miklazewski. In lane 7, Kayla Marion. And in lane 8, you have Katie Matzlaus.
Twelve. Oh. All right, I have a little delay here. Where are we going? Again, it looks like the backstroke wedge down bottom right of your screen. You see the officials. Lane 8. Steve, you have one of those cool vests, huh?
You mean the neon ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just too hot to wear it. Especially up here in the press box, right?
All right, so interestingly, they asked the swimmers actually to, I guess it's the equivalent of stepping down, right? Stepping
Yep.
out. Yeah, not to put pressure, but just so you can see what's going on. Oh, actually, you can't see. Lifetime with the football-style jerseys. Big 12, some of the teams came in with hockey jerseys. Little crossover. Oh, I guess I should shut that graphic off. All right, here we go. Back to...
All right, and the swimmers just went back into the pool, getting ready for this backstroke start.
All right, underway. This is heat 12 of 14.
Attention coaches, we need you to pick up those spreadsheets for the thousands immediately. We need you to pick up those spreadsheets for the thousands immediately. Thank you.
All right, so that announcement was pick up the scratch sheets coming from the meet administrator, I guess is the official title.
Yes.
All right, here's our 50 splits. So heat 12 in the pool, names on the top right for 13. This one was circle seated. I'm sorry I didn't give you that indication earlier. And similar with heat 13 up next. So that is lane 4, Rebecca Jung. Rebecca came in on a 57.50. 55, 56. Improving on that. Nice swim, Rebecca. All right, up next. This is our heat 13, 13 of 14. In a couple seconds, the names on the top right will flash and get updated with our final heat. Now they're updated.
Heat 13 on the way. In lane 1, Shay Bundanis. Lane 2, Carolyn Murray. Lane 3, Liz Versta. Lane 4, Chloe Kim. Lane 5, Avery Locke. Lane 6, Nicole Zaremba. Lane 7, Zoe Joss. And in lane 8 is Jessie Wang.
So, Mike, quick catch on that. You said some of the coaches were wearing football jersey style.
Yep.
And then just sharing with everybody at home what I can see. Looks like the Scarlet coaches are wearing green for St. Patty's today.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You see, no. Yeah, those you'll see them potentially on the far deck. Sorry. All right, here we come into the finish. Lane 4, Chloe Kim, 55.88. Just off her seat. And kind of looking at the outsides, 101s. That's about their seat. Oh, maybe not. All right, we got to go here with final heat. Low seed here, Sarah Rodriguez, middle of the pool, lane 4, 53.12 coming in on.
Final heat, lane 1, Sophia Chappins. Lane 2, Marta Gershanek. Lane 3, Lainey Sue. Lane 4, Sarah Rodriguez. Lane 5, Amanda Bramley. Lane 6, Zoe Perez. Lane 7, Claire Wong. And in lane 8 is Sophie Zuluaga.
Names on the top right are the boys for their first heat. All right, Sarah first to the wall, turning in 25.96. All right, Sarah finishing 52.90, 54.17. All right, definitely be returning to the A finals tonight. The 54, the 58. Nice job, ladies. Here we go, first heat for the boys.
Men's 13 and over, 100 back. Heat 1, lane 1, Ryan Morea. Lane 2, Rajesh Rana. Lane 3, Michael Kim. Lane 4, West Morsa. Lane 5, Robert Stanley. Lane 6, Peter Silapino. Lane 7, Atticus Chi. And in lane 8, Sid Paniker.
14 heats also here for the boys and men. Lane 7 first to turn at the 50. That is Atticus Chi there. From RSA Swimming, and Steve, I know you studied it.
Rebel.
Rebel Aquatic Club. Shucks, I didn't update it yet.
Heat 2 of 14. In lane 1, Basil Glocken. Lane 2, Pietro Bonini. Lane 3, Dylan McGowan. Lane 4, Robbie Gibbons. Lane 5, Henry Lee. Lane 6, Aiden Plent. Lane 7, Karam Mupakuklu. And in lane 8 is Jaden Bui.
All right, names on the top right updated for the next heat. Heat 3 names, top right. So visually, you'll see that the lane lines in the middle of the pool are solid. Well, they're not solid. They're black and red as opposed to the further outside. So that's to give you a quick visual indication of lanes 4 and 5 are in between those lanes lines. 10-lane pools, sometimes you'll see like an orange cone in the middle as a way of separating. So that is lane 4, first to the wall. And a
Robbie
50
Gibbons.
sub 1, Robbie. Nice job. Came in on a 102.45. That's like a 2.6. Oh, shucks. Why, Mike, you're slow. Ignore those names for 5 seconds. Now they're updated. Heat 3.
In lane 1, Ethan Park. Lane 2, Colin Whitlock. Lane 3, Matt Jackson. Lane 4, Wesley Richardson. Lane 5, Jack Cameloni. Lane 6, Daniel Hong. Lane 7, Ibrahim Asgar. And in lane 8 is Mason.
All right, if you just saw a blip in the service, that's on my side, not you. Oh. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know. That's she currently holds it. All right, here we come into the finish. Tight one here. Lane 2, Colin goes low, 102.23. Dropping off his 102.30. All right, here we go. Heat 4.
In lane 1, you have Aiden Jang. In lane 2, you have Noah Zomera. Lane 3, Patrick Sun. Lane 4, Mason Carter. Lane 5, Vince Ermita. Lane 6, Oliver Brown. Lane 7, Zachary Cruz. Lane 8, Noah DeLorean.
So, Sonia, I see your comment that 100 back state record belongs to Sarah Rodriguez. Please clarify on that. We were watching that. The 15 and over New Jersey swim record that we have based on the heat sheets, Clara Logan has a 52.99 from March of 2023. Sarah did come in at a 53.12. I believe she was above that on that swim. So if you could clarify that. We did have that in our mind. She's an incredible swimmer, and maybe we'll see that this evening. Is this updated? I don't know if those names are right. I was distracted. Where are we going? Heat 5 now?
Heat 5. So in lane 1, Alex Rowe. Lane 2, Peter Varagoskis. Lane 3, Aiden Hung. Lane 4, Ian Kim. Lane 5, Logan Oni.
Event 139, girls 13, 14, and women's 15 and over, 100-yard backstroke. This event is now open for scratching. The time is 10:26, and you have 30 minutes to declare your intentions.
And to continue the lanes, in lane 6, you have Siobhan Dungana. Lane 7, Mayan Levy. And in lane 8 is
Christian.
5 down here.
Yeah, Christian.
Pergentil.
And apologies if I am botching some names. And good morning to Mr. Joey Brains. I know previously Atticus Chi just swam, so he said, "Let's go, Atticus." So I do believe Atticus did finish first in his heat.
Alex Rowe up in lane 1, dropping time off his 100.73. Came home 59.34. Nice job, Sternberg. All right, here, hopefully the names are correct. We're caught up. Did Joey sleep in this morning, Steve?
Possibly, or he might have started enjoying his St. Patty's beverages.
So, Joey, if you did sleep in, the beauty of YouTube at any point, you can rewind your own stream just like a DVR. Go back, rewatch it. The little gear on the bottom does even allow you to do slower replay. And if you are on your phone or tablet, Just an issue here in lane 8 again with the wedge.
So this is heat 6 of 14. Lane 1, Vivon Adhikari. Lane 2, Junjo Jung. Lane 3, Milo Pfeiffer. Lane 4, Kevin Ho. Lane 5, Gavin Del Fiero. Lane 6, Aiden Louis. Lane 7, Robbie Bai. And in lane 8, you have Sebastian Sternberg.
All right. So here we go. We're going to go. Steve, you should get on the board. Next time the St. Patrick's Day meet should only be run at Notre Dame University.
So you want to take a wild guess how many of these water bottles here today are filled with water?
No comment. If anybody is coming down later, actually, Rutgers women's lacrosse has a home game today. I think noon. They're playing Yale. If anybody wants to catch that. It's probably on the Big 12. I don't know if it's going to be on Big 12 or Ivy Network. Low time here, 57.74. Gavin in lane 5. Gavin came in on a 58.67. Nice improvement. Here we go, heat 7.
Lane 1, Wayne Lee. Lane 2, Mayat Sal. Lane 3, Dominic Latito. Lane 4, Bradley Warner. Lane 5, Kyle Lee. Lane 6, Michael Yurzanko. Lane 7, Lyndon Lee. And in lane 8, Jonathan Kern.
Sonia, thanks for clarifying. Said that Sarah swam a 52.54 at the Meet of Champions. So anybody not familiar, New Jersey high school swimmers. It's run by NJSIA, the governing body of swimming for high school sports. Said she swam a 52.54 there. Awesome. So congratulations. Yes, and it's not updated in the sheets that we have here. So congrats to Sarah. Heat 7 in the pool. And if you missed it last night, Sarah broke the record in the 200 back. She went 152 and change. Low time here, 55.93. Michael Graziano in 6. Michael dropping chunks of time off his 57.57.
Heat 8 of 14. In lane 1, Brandon Sutherland. Lane 2, George Peralvo. Lane 3, Tyler Mack. Lane 4, Matthew Ciliato. Lane 5, Eric. Lane 5 is a scratch. Lane 6, Jack Parisi. Lane 7, Ethan Young. And in lane 8, you have Matthew Shee.
Will the coach from Clifton please come to the control room? Coach from Clifton, come to the control room. Thank you.
Yeah, and that Meet of Champions meet was held. Interestingly, it's held down at GCIT. You'd almost say, would it be better here, centrally in the state? I don't know if there's conflicts or what the thinking, or if there's contracts. It's always curious, sometimes where they choose events and locations. And, I guess it's like any venue. Low time, lane 1, Brandon came at 56.04, dropping off his 57.43. If anybody out there knows why Meet of Champions is held down there, it'd be interesting.
Heat 9 of 14. In lane 1, William Au. Lane 2, Finn Tobin. Lane 3, Remen Tariq. Lane 4, Eric Gerdak. Lane 5, Max Chechanowski. Lane 6, Oliver Kim. Lane 7, Aiden Verga. And in lane 8 is Mikey Florentino.
Steve, all these sessions are kind of blurring together, and I did mention it at one point. So, especially for the younger parents, thing of interest, the Meet of Champions is, similar to this. You need to qualify to be invited there, and then there's preliminaries and finals. And the NJSIA made the decision to actually only do A finals. Traditionally, it was a Saturday race. You'd qualify, you'd be invited back. I'll continue the story during the next race. Lane 3, low time, 55.42.
Remen Tariq.
It's about a 1.5 second drop for him.
Heat 10 of 14. In lane 1, Bryce Freeman. Lane 2, Mark Suarez. Lane 3, Charles Bronk. Lane 4, Matthew Gao. Lane 5, Yalong Zhang. Lane 6, Nikolai Sherholz. Lane 7, Adam Azawi. And in lane 8 is Brian Castone.
All right, again, the officials tinkering with the wedge on 8. It's not really a complex device. It's a couple straps. And, it probably sells for $400. I should Google it. I was looking just to make sure the name's correct. Finns does refer to it as the wedge. But like with anything in swimming, that little thing probably cost silly amounts of money. So just to kind of complete the thought. So the NJSAA decided to only do A finals, and they put a statement out. And anybody out there, if you're following it, correct me if I'm inaccurate or wrong, but they basically said it was a cost and resource thing. And really didn't sit well with a lot of people, because when you only invite back an A final in an 8-lane pool, very limited. And there's kids on the fringe that, might be younger, might be trying to get into college, or, to your point we were talking about earlier about circle seating, might want to compete against a high level. And really set people off, and they just said it was resources. But at the same point, the hockey was at the Prudential Center, and they were NJ.com was doing live stream for that. And, it's just, I think some parents felt a little slighted.
Coach from Ocean County Y, please hand in their scratch sheet for the 1,000. And the coach from Ocean County Y, please hand in their scratch sheet for the 1,000. Thank you.
So just to complete the thought there is a petition out there to bring back the A's and B's, but the counter argument is across the board, NJSIA canceled a lot of the Meet of Champions. And the interesting thing, boys lacrosse in New Jersey actually went independent, did a GoFundMe, raised like $40,000. And if anybody's familiar with boys lacrosse in New Jersey, there's a family, the Curse. The dad had 5 sons. He's actually was a Rutgers grad. He's from Summit originally. He passed away, and they actually created an independent tournament called the Curse Cup just for boys lacrosse, so they could compete and get that one state champion. Tight one here, 2 and 5. Lane 2 out touches 55.87, Mark Suarez. Up next, Heat 11, 11 of 14. These are not into circle seating yet.
Lane 1, Matthew Lopescu. Lane 2, Ryan Kang. Lane 3, Hayden Lin. Lane 4, Kevin Carr. Lane 5, David Mazzoli. Lane 6, Henry Pun. Lane 7, Gavin Basio. And in lane 8, Jerry Wang.
All right. So I said last thought, but I got to throw one other thing. So I put a comment out there. I said, the swimming Meet of Champions should go independent. Bring in like Rebecca Sony, Jack Alexi's probably going to be at that point with going to the Olympics with the name recognition from New Jersey. So go independent and have your own meet. So all right, that's my last thought on that. Back to swimming here with the kids.
And if you're just joining, the time is 10:37. This is the 2024 NJS and Scarlet Gold Championship. Final day, prelim session. And hitting that wall first is Gavin Basio with a time of 56:35.
All right, now we're into circle seating here in Heat 12. You can see the discrepancy, center of the pool to the outside.
In lane 1, you have Michael Wizenko. Lane 2, Dominic Narduzzi. Lane 3, Nick Straka. Lane 4, Brandon Anand. Lane 5, Carl Burgart. Lane 6, Tyler Hopkins. Lane 7, Alex Batia Jimenez. And in lane 8, Matt Corrales. Brandon Anand touches the wall first with a time of 51:86. His entry time was a 52:17, so there is a drop. His time for prelims is 51:86. Heat 13 of 14. In lane 1, Hamish Wilson-Webb. Lane 2, Johannes Welch. Lane 3, Richard Fadiv. Lane 4, Jacob Kim. Lane 5, Uriel Lee. Lane 6, Aaron Roy. Lane 7, CJ Friends. And in lane 8 is Gennaro Dito. So, Mike, in passing with some of the parents that I keep running into.
All right, can you hold that thought?
Okay,
So
go
real
ahead.
quick, Sonia posted about Sarah Rodriguez in the Meet of Champions. I just pulled it up. It is available also on the Be Smart website. Yes, she swam a 52:54 from Wayne Valley High School. I believe they're the Warriors, blue and blue, I think, is their colors. So yes, on 3:2:24, she did swim 52:54 meet record. So Sonia, thanks for bringing that to our attention. And that's the beauty. Also, I'll kind of just mention, like YouTube allows that interaction. NewJersey.com will stream stuff, and there's no way to interact. Like you can stream at your TV all you want.
Yep.
So that's why we do this. And
So going back to what I was about to ask you, Mike, is that in passing with a lot of the parents, I got a lot of positive feedback with the live stream that you're doing here.
Right.
So, I don't know what it'll take and if time permits, but, how do we get you to come back for our long course meet? Gold's long course. To be continued.
we'll talk. We'll leave it at that. Low time, 50:14 there. Jacob Kim. Jacob came in on a 51:20. All right, final heat.
Final heat. Lane 1, Greg Clark. Lane 2, Lucas Fong. Lane 3, Tristan Moore. Lane 4, Frankie Precop. Lane 5, Nate Shooten. Lane 6, Adam Kiss. Lane 7, Philip Spiridonov. And in lane 8 is Koji Sawa.
49.53 is low time here. Frankie in lane 4. '15 and over record 46.78. That was set last year, March 25th. Aaron Baltatis. Underway, final heat. The names will get updated on the top right with some girls' names for the next event, which is we're into the 50 free already, Steve? Supposed to start at 10:41, so we're kind of right on schedule.
And then we have a nice shout out from Epic Z's. Says, love the interesting stories.
I have a finite amount of stories, so if you maybe after 2 or 3 meets, you might be hearing the same things over and over. So, all right, 3 swimmers on deck for the 50 free of the girls, but let's focus on the boys coming home. Low time, Frankie in 4, 50.47. All right, here's first of, how many? First of 18.
And this is the women's 13 and over, 53, heat 1 of event 143. In lane 3, Annabelle Song. Lane 4, Sarah Montgomery. Lane 5, Sam Geary.
All right, these are going to go quick, so. Girls aren't even into the wall. The whistles are going.
First place was a 26.65 on that touch.
Lane 5.
Heat 2. Lane 1 is Riley Bambara. Lane 2, Samantha Kent. Lane 3, Ashley Foley. Lane 4, Maksha Shah. And lane 5, Sarah Jo Draper. Lane 6, Alice Churlova. And in lane 7, Molly Doria.
Lane 5, low time there, 25.88. Sarah Jo came in on a 26.93.
Heat 3. Lane 1, Elizabeth Mannix. Lane 2, Sierra Santiago. Lane 3, Hannah Ploss. Lane 4, Noel Rivera Castro. Lane 5, Harper Edie. Lane 6, Audrey Barrow. Lane 7, Haley Coe. And in lane 8, Sophia Watts.
Low time, lane 4, Noel. Improving on her time.
Sorry about that. Oh, I got to make this quick. Heat 4. Yeah. Lane 1, Taylor Monahan. Lane 2, Haley Castillo. Lane 3, Adeline Fang. Lane 4, Lily Levering. Lane 5, Elizabeth Wolchtek. Lane 6, Cecilia Flamia. Lane 7, Lillian Woodsmall. And lane 8 is Sophia Howard.
Low time, Cecilia in 6, 25.86. Dropping off our 26.79. Here we go, Heat 5.
Heat 5, lane 1. Yezbel Verata, or Kyla Yezbel Verata in lane 1. In lane 2, Ava Chung. Lane 3, Jillian Alcid.
Phone call. Sorry.
Lane 4, Tierney Keith. Lane 5, Peyton Phelan. Lane 6, Natalie Duran Gonzalez. Lane 7, Emma Esser. And in lane 8 is Clyde Lynn.
Take it. It's okay. All right, here we go. Heat 6.
In lane 1, Arian Bracco Puerto. In lane 2, Addison Bettis. Lane 3, Emmy O'Shane. Lane 4, Grace Barrows. Lane 5, Jenna Barry. Lane 6, Grace Flamia. In lane 7, Avery Yanovac. And in lane 8, you have Maddie Moore.
Low time, lane 5, Jenna Barry.
In lane 1, Reese Berg. Lane 2, Zoe Talluri. Lane 3, Sharon Cho. Lane 4, Mila Cromwell. Lane 5, Caitlin Ng. Lane 6, Corel Lee. Lane 7, Nola Meehan. Lane 8, Ava Fields. This goes back to the person with a clipboard. Now is the fast-paced writing. Write as fast as you can. Let's see how you do.
Right. So if you're not familiar, behind each block, there's 2 volunteers, and one has a clipboard and has to write down the manual times. So each one has a manual stopwatch, and they need to write those down.
Sharon Cho, 25.79.
She came in on a 26.36. Big shout out there from the crowd. Heat 8. You could talk over that.
Heat 8, lane 1, Anaga Mandreka. Lane 2, Michelle Fadib. Lane 3, Camila Bazan. Lane 4, Harlow Hatch. Lane 5, Lily Price. Lane 6, Naya Sonono. Lane 7, Emily Gallagher. And lane 8 is Lila Stevens.
Again, heat 8 of 18 in the pool. Outside smoke, lane 8. 26.03 for Stevens, dropping a .3.
Heat 9, lane 1, Sasha Colby. Lane 2, Alexa Whitworth. Lane 3, Imani Kiss. Lane 4, Ava Rapetti. Lane 5, Caitlin Stubbs. Lane 6, Marley McDonald. Lane 7, Victoria Stewart. And in lane 8, Davina Lowe.
If you can you see if we're circle seating at the end of this or not? I'm curious on the 50 free. This is heat 9 coming into the wall. Lane 7, 25.21 for Victoria Stewart. Came in 26.07.
Yeah, it looks like it'll start, circle seating will start in heat 16 with Sarah Rodriguez. All right, heat 10, sorry. Lane 1, Jennifer Establio. Lane 2, Francesca Fields. Lane 3, Claire Hagedis. Lane 4, Avery Locke. Lane 5, Sophia Chappins. Lane 6, Emily Kalna. Lane 7, Amanda Semsel. And in lane 8, Lola Summerstein.
Shout out to Avery Locke, part of the Chatham State Champ team.
I feel like I'm in a rush to read faster.
Well, wait until the boys get in the pool. Low time there, lane 8.
Lola Summerstein with a 26.04.
Ewing.
Heat 11 of 18. Lane 1, Kat Cardnoff. Lane 2, Isabel Yu. Lane 3, Emily Gallo. Lane 4, Hope Dorsey. Lane 5, Noelle Jordan. Lane 6, Erin Borisinek. Lane 7, Adeline Tanajaja. And in lane 8 is Hannah Ewing.
Tight ones. Middle of the pool. Lane 4, 25.50 for Hope. Low time there.
Heat 12. In lane 1, Ayla Freire. Lane 2, Jenna Calabrese. Lane 3, Sanjana Dar. Lane 4, Lila Bloomquist. Lane 5, Sofia Del Silva. Lane 6, Alexandra Tan. Lane 7, Ala Molatier. And in lane 8, Natalia Duadria.
All right, that's Heat 12, low time, 7. Ilya right on her seed.
Heat 13 of 18. Lane 1, Megan Jakubasek. Sorry. Lane 2, Adriel Marrero. Lane 3, Hope Kennedy. Lane 4, Emma Price. Lane 5, Michelle Zhao. Lane 6, Es Hendrick. Lane 7, Kyra Walsh. And in lane 8, Rihanna Kokorian.
Low time, 25.41. Michelle Zhao in 5.
Heat 14 of 18. Lane 1, Helen Chen. Lane 2, Addie Reyes. Lane 3, Ella Callahan. Lane 4, Kayla Rodriguez. Lane 5, Katie Matloss. Lane 6, Riley Horgan. Lane 7, Priya Schultz. And in lane 8 is Reese Biggie.
This is going so fast.
Yeah, I don't think these are all circle seated. Times are very close, but I guess there's probably not a lot of discrepancy at this point. Look at that. Whole field separated. I don't know. Somebody do the math for me. I can't look that quick.
Finishing first was Reese Biggie with a time of 25.46.
And the last place, 26.02. So what is that's 54 and 2, 56. 0.56 first to eighth there.
Heat 15, lane 1, Claire Wong. Lane 2, Abby Ford. Lane 3, Natalie Dapra. Lane 4, Adriana Skanga. Lane 5, Brianna Marian. Lane 6, Sonia Jagan. Lane 7, Jessica Sung. And in lane 8 is Jessie Wang.
Coming into the wall. Low time, Sonia in 6, 25.08.
Heat 16. In lane 1, Samia Grazaz. Lane 2, Marissa Lanzansky. Lane 3, Kayla Marion. Lane 4, Sarah Rodriguez. Lane 5, Amanda Bramley. Lane 6, Lily Mitlazewski. In lane 7, Sarah Way. And then lane 8 is Amelia Land.
All right, I take it back. You were right earlier, Steve. It is circle seating. I just was looking too early. I can't do 18 minus 3. Low time there, Sarah Rodriguez.
24-11. Heat 16.
17.
17, sorry. Lane 1, Zariah Townsend. Lane 2, Margaret Sawa. Lane 3, Riley Baczynski. Lane 4, Chloe Kim. Lane 5, Katie Hurst. Lane 6, Angela Zhao. Lane 7, Petra Karnoff. Lane 8, Masha Netrepko.
I can't imagine. The girls are flying. When the boys get in the pool, you got to pick it up a little, okay? You got it in you?
Yeah, I got to step up my game.
23.84, Chloe Kim there.
Last and final heat. Lane 1, Amina Jones. Lane 2, Hayden Gill. Lane 3, Reagan Gilligan. Lane 4, Julia Bartowskiewicz. Lane 5, Grace Lee. Lane 6, Rebecca Jung. Lane 7, Sabine Rustad. Lane 8, Masha Zarabina.
All right, just real quick. Chloe Kim was right on her seed time there on that last race. Looks like low time here. Julia in 4, 24.03. also right on our seat time. Sorry for the boys. I'm a little slow getting names updated. We have 3 entries. They'll get updated in a couple seconds.
And Julia finished first with a 24:03 on that final heat.
Take a breath.
All right, men's 13 and over 53. Event 144, heat 1. Lane 3, Ibrahim Asgar. And lane 4, Logan Oni. And lane 5, Sid Paniker.
20 heats here for the boys and men. And just for a quick reference, I'll read it real quick. 13-14 record is 2059. 15 and over is 1975. Roman Jones. Oh my God, how about that? Jack Alexi has the 13-14. Roman Jones has the 15 and over. All right, who's going to put it in the chat? Do we know where these boys men are swimming right now? What college?
Heat 2. Lane 1, Wes Morsa. Lane 2, Gavin Hanlon. No swimmer in 3. Lane 4, Henry Lee. Lane 5, Andrei Teslakov. Lane 6, Alex Rowe. Lane 7, Ryan Rosotto. Lane 8, Pietro Bonini.
Mr. Blockhead put a comment, shout out to his daughter. Sorry, we can't fully read it. Put one more comment because stupid YouTube has a icon next to it. I can't fully read your daughter's name if you could.
It's for Adriana Skanga. I remember that
Okay,
from yesterday.
thank you.
Heat 3, Lane 1, Griffin Hayden. Lane 2, Gavin DePaul. Lane 3, Jack Camiloni. Lane 4, Maya Sal. Lane 5, Oliver Maloney. Lane 6, Owen Bjerken. Lane 7, Owen Zhu. And in lane 8 is Zachary Cruz.
Matt, you win. Cal Berkeley, yep. And I believe the younger Alexi's there too, right? His first name's escaping me. A couple Del Barton kids. Del Barton had a stranglehold on the Morris County Championships for years.
Heat 4, Lane 1, Theo Casareo. Lane 2, Robbie Bai. Lane 3, Ara Gulati. Lane 4, Sebastian Sternberg. Lane 5, Arjun Sudhakar. Lane 6, Aiden Jiang. Lane 7, Kareem El-Zawawi. And in lane 8 is Caleb Kang.
All right, more story time with Mike. Okay, well, we're running out of time here. Okay.
Placing first is Kareem El-Zawawi with a 24:45.
So there is a video. Cal Berkeley, obviously California outside pools, they had a huge meet in pouring rain. So there's a couple of videos out there of that. Be a kind of cool experience.
Heat 5, Lane 1, Dylan McGowan. Lane 2, Andrew Halaberta. Lane 3, George Anagnostos. Lane 4, Braden Harris. Lane 5, Yayong Sun. Lane 6, Robbie Gibbons. Lane 7, Ethan Park. Lane 8 is Basile Astin.
Low time, lane 6, Robbie Gibbons, 24:17. Moving on. Here we go, heat 6.
Lane 1, Noah DeLorean. Lane 2, Gabriel Colon. Lane 3, Sloan Mahapant. Lane 4, Aiden Tang. Lane 5, Caleb Pinto. Lane 6, David Lombard Mursky. Lane 7, Nathan Shu. And lane 8 is Colin Whitlock.
I feel like I'm in a race.
You got your heart rate monitor on? Low time here, lane 6, 24:17 for David. Came in on a 24:71, so 0.5 change.
Heat 7, Lane 1, Max Sabansky. Lane 2, Jaden Almeida. Lane 3, Liam Schoon. Lane 4, Lyndon Lee. Lane 5, Noah Zomera. Lane 6, Justin O'Brien. Lane 7, Vivon Adhikari. And in lane 8 is Dmitry Vanchikov.
All right, 7 of 20 in the pool. Heat 7 of 20. Lane 3, maybe? Yep. 23:83. Liam dropping off a 24:39.
Heat 8, Lane 1, Anthony Hung. Lane 2, Christopher Lee. Lane 3, Matt Jackson. Lane 4, Matt Costa. Lane 5, Mayan Levy. Lane 6, Vince Ermita. Lane 7, Daniel Beznuzio.
This
Lane
event is
8,
now open
Philip
for scratching.
Petrovsky.
The time is 11:02, and you have 30 minutes to declare your intention.
It is hustling and bustling up in here.
Low time, lane 7, Daniel 23.96. Came in on a 24.23.
Heat 9, Lane 1, Jonathan Kern. Lane 2, Aiden Verga. Lane 3, Kevin Ho. Lane 4, Bradley Warner. Lane 5, Kyle Wargo. Lane 6, Rath Villarina. Lane 7, Karen Mekakulu. In lane 8 is Emmanuel Zanakis.
Lane 8, outside smoke. 23.29. Emmanuel. Almost 0.8 drop off is 24.05.
P10 of 20. Lane 1, Nicholas DeSopo. Lane 2, Bradley Mayer. Lane 3, Tyler Hopkins. Lane 4, Aaron Selick. Lane 5, Vahan Chatterjee. Lane 6, Zachary Katang. Lane 7, Aiden Hung. And in lane 8 is Bilal Afifi. Hitting first is Bilal Afifi with a time of 23:32. Heat 11, lane 1, Aiden Liu. Lane 2, Mario Pontitis. Lane 3, Adi Katamuri. Lane 4, Owen Peterling. Lane 5, Liam Soika. Lane 6, Luke Robinson. Lane 7, Jeremiah Tomioka. And in lane 8 is Andrew Kelly.
Low time, lane 2, Mario. Dropping off his 23.14 with a 22.84.
Heat 12, lane 1, Jose Calix. Lane 2, Matt Millen. Lane 3, Caden Cho. Lane 4, Timothy Wong. Lane 5, Liam Adams. Lane 6, Corey Sue. Lane 7, Wayne Lee. Lane 8, Marshall Harris.
All right, just before I mentioned one of the record holders, Roman Jones. He was a swimmer, swam at Pingree here in New Jersey. Actually had a national high school level record. I'm trying to remember what the event was, but awesome accomplishment. Lane 7, Wayne Lee, low time.
22:81. Here we go with Heat 13, I believe.
Yes.
Lane 1 is Carranza Cordero, and that is Derek. Lane 2, Otterin McDermott.
We got a false start. They're not hearing it. They're not hearing it.
Mark Suarez in lane 3. Mac Correos in lane 4.
Right.
Lane 5, Ian Ensoncho. Lane 6, Paul DiPietro. Lane 7, Remen Tariq. And in lane 8, Fabio Yepes.
All right.
Maybe we'll get a little break here.
Yeah, maybe. Go Ian from the Rebels group. You're back again. All right. So I wasn't watching. I can do replay, but I don't want to risk taking the stream down by trying to do a replay. If anybody wants to rewind, see what, I don't know if we had a flitch or something, or did the starting system go? I don't even. All right, so if you heard it, they were hitting the button on the starting system. We had a lot of beeps. More than likely, since those guys race, they'll put them at the back end probably, right? They won't make them re-race now, will they?
No. Normally they shouldn't right away.
Right. All right. So that was, what was that?
That was Heat 13.
So let me get the names. Oh, I actually have them already for 14. I wish they would make an announcement what they're doing. I imagine, so let's hear real quick. Let's go down. Who do we see in lane 1? What swimmer is that? Not a Scarlet in 1. Do you have a Scarlet in 1 and then a Jersey Aquatic? Can you see that name? Yeah, so that's Max. He is in our Heat 14. It's unfortunate. Boy's getting psyched up to swim. So I think we're going to go with Heat 14 based on Max standing next to the block here. And in Heat 14, lane 3, do we have a Lifetime followed by, here, what's this name here? Voboleski? Lane 14. Yeah, there's Matthew. Yep.
Yeah, Matt Chechanowski.
Now 4 is with the V. And here. So thank God for personal caps. Here's Burns, BB in 5. Okay, looks like we're going Heat 14. All right.
We are going to Heat 14. So lane 1, Simon Strizak. Lane 2, Max Chechanowski. Lane 3, Etienne Mebui. Lane 4, Matthew Volpescu. Lane 5, Harrison Burns. Lane 6, Melo Mir. Lane 7, Brian DeSantos. And in lane 8 is Philip Spiridonov.
All right, on the top right, I'm assuming we're going Heat 15 next. Those names you see on the top right are 15 swimmers. Middle of the pool, Harrison Burns. Let's make sure, do we have the right names? Barr. Yeah, it looks like we're going to 15 next.
Heat 15, lane 1, Michael Wizenko. Lane 2, Ian Knops. Lane 3, Ryan Pelosi. Lane 4, CJ Friends. Lane 5, Matthew Stetson. Lane 6, Santino Ermita. Lane 7, Ethan Young. And in lane 8 is Liam Barr. Touching first there was Ryan Pelosi with a time of 22:35.
Kern, Barr, Kern. All right, hopefully these names are right. Are we going here 16?
16, yes.
All right.
Lane 1, Brian Mulligan. Lane 2, Philip Salick. Lane 3, Mason Keith. Lane 4, Craig Clark. Lane 5, Aaron Roy. Lane 6, Tyler Mack. Lane 7, Eli Muldoon. Lane 8, Nathaniel Kern.
Good job. So I believe 13 was the scratch or rerun, whatever we want to call it. Here we go with names for 17.
Heat 17, lane 1, Tristan Moore. Lane 2, Noam Prokofsky. Lane 3, Angel Lainez. Lane 4, Thomas Goggin. Lane 5, Johannes Welch. Lane 6, Joseph Castada. Lane 7, Kyle Phillips. And in lane 8 is Eric Yu. Touching first is Thomas Goggin with a time of 22:37.
All right. Oh, wait. Hold on. Those names need to be updated real quick. Now they're accurate for this heat.
Heat 18, lane 1, Alex Voftia Jimenez. Lane 2, Richard Fadib. Lane 3, Isaac Rivers. Lane 4, Frankie Prekop. Lane 5, Joey Staus. Lane 6, Jacob Kim. Lane 7, David Zoltek. And lane 8, Nick Straka.
All right. You got them before the boys are even at under the flags on the way home.
I'm trying to drop time here, too.
All right. Low time there, Frankie in 4. 21:33.
Heat 19, lane 1, Miles Smalls. Lane 2, Carl Burgart. Lane 3, Barack Ilaglu. In lane 4, Gregory Lynn. Lane 5, Sam Lorenk. Lane 6, Eric Gerdak. Lane 7, Troy Mayer. And in lane 8, you have Youssef Elanawawi.
All right, 19's in the pool. Names for 20 is on the top right. And then we're then a rerun 13 is my assumption right away. Lane 6, low time 21:57. Nice drop for Eric there. Came in on a 22:10. This is the official, this is Heat 20, the low times. Oh, no, circle seating, sorry.
Heat 20. Lane 1, Max Carter. Lane 2, Peter Jarzab. Lane 3, Charles Bronk. Lane 4, Timothy Lee. Lane 5, Matthew Piacentini. Lane 6, Gavin Basio. Lane 7, Hunter Gallo. And in lane 8 is Dominic Narduzzi.
Middle of the pool looks like lane 4, 21:01, Timothy Lee. Now, I put the names on the top right. I'm assuming we're then to run 13. So now with the scoreboard, they either go to a new heat or they jump back to 13. More than likely, they'll just jump up to heat 20. Oh, they go to 13. Okay. So all those Colorado aficionados out there, what you'll get is on the start, it'll pop up and say, this has already been run. Do you want to keep it? These should be the names for 13, right? Yep. Okay, I got them correct. So Colorado is basically just a database. It says, doesn't even know names. The names function is done by the kind of the scoreboard controller. The Colorado, the console itself just kind of has events and heats.
So Heat 13 definitely is going to be repeated now. I'm just going to repeat those lane and names again. So lane 1 is Derek Carranza Cordero. Lane 2, Adrian McDermott. Lane 3, Mark Soares. Lane 4, Matt Correos. Lane 5, Ian Insancho. Lane 6, Cole DiPietro. Lane 7, Raymond Tariq. And in lane 8 is Fabio Yepes.
All right. 22:90, lane 6 for Cole. Dropping a little bit off his time. Real quick, show you how old I am. Some of the pools I swam, outdoor summer, they used to have a rope they used to drop for fall starts, and swimmers used to basically get entangled in the ropes. So
I do believe they're going to clear the pool, and we're hitting the thousands.
So do I have that as a separate? This is
Yeah.
where I do have it as a separate
You
stream.
do? Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I should know. I don't. Yeah, I called it the Sunday
Yeah.
Distance.
Okay.
That is a separate stream. Is that? All right, hoax. Folks, hang on. We're then to just try and figure. I might have to drop this stream. Hopefully they give me. Yep, Sunday Distance. This stream's going to end abruptly, and then I'll come back on a new one. So if nothing else, just go to YouTube, say Common Guy Sports. You'll see a